Alright, so here we go, guys. What's going on? It's your boy Geek Master Cash. Daddy Samuel's back again with another podcast for you loyal minions to enjoy. But this time, I brought along a friend. We both figured since we get together and hang out on a regular basis that we should record one of these ridiculously stupid conversations and turn it into a podcast. Call it the Sensei VS the Geek Master. So here we are. Most of you probably know who my dude is, the Sensei. But for you guys that don't know who he is, I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself, get his credentials and his background off so we can all be on the same page going forward. So without further ado, please welcome the dirtiest man whore of Caucasian descent that I've ever met, Sensei!
Unfortunately, he knows way too much, so if he does start chirping on some of the shit I told him, this podcast is going to come to a quick and abrupt end. No, way too much. But what's up, guys? This is Robert Gable Jr., also known as the Sensei. Might know me on our page, Superman vs. Batman. Also on DC Extended Universe, almost at 1 million likes, so make sure to check us out there as well. Basically, slutting myself anywhere Facebook will have me. So you guys are probably familiar with me by now, but how's it going? Glad to much appreciate my man, the Geek Master here, for having me on his podcast. So
Always.
kudos.
Been meaning to get this done for a while now, so
Absolutely.
Good. Finally get on the mic and get it together and shit. So, we're just going to jump right in, kind of just bear with us, then we'll see where it goes. But kind of what's going on with DC these days, man?
That's the $1 million question. If I need to channel my inner Norman Osborn, or not Norman Osborn, but the son of Osborn from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, isn't that the question of the day?
Right.
And it really is. DC.
Like
DC Comics is fucking up in our opinion. I know it's not a popular opinion to have right now, but it's one I think is actually kind of surfacing in social networking and the media even, that DC's fucking up. And it's not even just opinion, but fact at this point, because I think it was recently reported as of this week they lost out on $2 million, I want to say. And some of it was the move from moving from New York to California, so I'm sure some of that was expected, to be honest. But I think a lot of it was just piss poor management decisions that's really tanking the company right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Concur 100%. Also, I don't know how much of that number is tied to like their actual comic book sales. Are sales tanking as well too?
They really are. Report just came out. Heroic Hollywood just posted this, I do believe. And out of the top 50, which is something DC had a fair share in, I want to say they only had a couple books in the top 50. And that was Batman, which is always in the top 50. That's never an issue. Justice League, and one other book I want to say was in the top 50. If that sounds right. Only one in the top 10. Now, don't quote me on that on the numbers, but I know it was something very dismal, almost. And that was a couple weeks ago that report came out. So that was before the 2 million net loss report came out. So they've been circling, I wouldn't say circling the drain. DC obviously isn't going anywhere. But they are making some bad decisions, and I think we both agree this stemmed from Convergence.
Yeah, definitely from Convergence.
Definitely.
Convergence comes off as a very big disappointment and a long line of disappointments since Forever Evil kind of came out.
Yes.
I think we both agree on that shit, man. Like with Futures End there was a couple parts of Futures End that I enjoyed. Like when it first came out, they had the masked Superman.
Yes.
Kind of mystery that kind of got me going into it. And after that was exposed, it kind of had a bunch of filler. And then I kind of got intrigued by, they never explained this, the beef between Batman and Superman. Like there was Batman did something to Superman that made Superman kind of hate his guts. Yeah. They never elaborated on that. And I was always interested, like, what the fuck happened? What did Bruce do? But that was one thing that kept me interested. And then, of course, the Brainiac vs. Superman is what got me to the end of it. But
Agreed.
All in all, it was pretty much a disappointment of an event. I was one of its advocates, in favor of it as it was going on, trying to defend it. But at the end, I couldn't get with it. I wasn't a big fan of Batman Eternal either as an event. I guess that really wasn't an event. That was more of a series, but
Weekly, yeah. I mean, so was Futures End to some degree, but that was more of an event because you touted that and you advertised that with free comic book data. This is the next big thing leading up to the next big thing for DC. That definitely was an event. Eternal was, I guess, in its own kind of way.
It was already had some moments. I kind of fell in and out of it. I had to catch up at the end. Like I read about 30 issues straight, and then I fell out of it, dropped it, and then I came back and finished it up later and shit. So I kind of did the same thing with World's End too, because it's as good as the Earth 2 books were, World's End kind of didn't live up to it as a weekly at all. You know what I mean? It had some good moments in it as well, but the Earth 2 books, as I think that you were a fan of as well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I really enjoyed her too, but World's End, I felt like I had to struggle through, kind of. You know,
And in DC's defense, and you're not going to be getting that a lot in the next 5 to 10 minutes, but I'm going to get it out now while I still can. But in DC's defense, I think the weekly model is a hard model to maintain in comics. That's 52 fucking issues.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a lot of fillers. And I think DC learned that because we're getting a sequel to Eternal, which is going to focus around the Robins come September, October. September, I want to say.
I'm actually looking forward to that.
Me too. And they shortened it up. It's only going to be 20-some issues. So they're already learning from their mistakes in that.
Yeah.
So in their defense, like I think they bit off more than they can chew. And even could be said, the same could be said for Future's End. It's just not enough story to stretch out fucking 52 issues.
And the story they were trying to fill it out with was kind of retarded. Like, I actually, like the, what's her name, 50 Sue? I was really intrigued by her character, and they kind of, like, bombed her out and
Fell
shit.
the fuck flat.
You know what I'm saying? Fell on that. That was a really interesting character. The fucking bickering between the Justice League, or not the Justice League, but, like, the Firestorm bickering, and then, like, some of the other, it kind of escapes me right now. There was some other little trivial things going on among the cats. I was just like, come on, this is kind of fucking childish. And it kind of took away from it, especially buying it. This is still back when I was still buying every single issue that I bought, you know, that I read, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And putting the money into that shit is kind of like some waste. But
I mean, yeah, especially when you're shelling out $3 an issue every single week. And I think with the Future's End, they really tried too hard to be this generation. I wouldn't even say this generation, but this decade's 52, where they came out and they try to have a 52 issue weekly book based off second to third tier characters, thinking it was really going to take off. They did that with 52. You had your Booster Goals and your whatnot, really powering home.
and they thought they would have learned from that.
Well, that was actually a big good success for them. It really
was
was. It really was. Yeah. It was a big weekly book. It was a big book period. It brought back the 52 multiverse. That's where we found out the multiverse was back.
That was right after Infinite Crisis.
But it was a better story. Yeah, it was right after Infinite Crisis. Yeah. It filled in the year where the main Trinity was gone: Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. But yeah, Future's End was definitely a mishap. It was a misstep. But you get worse when you get to Convergence. And here's where I have my issue with the New 52. And the Geek Master here is no stranger to this tale. But I have to admit it, 'cause I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was not the biggest fan of the New 52 concept when it first came out. I raged like the biggest Ben Affleck hater of all fucking time when he woke up the next day and found out Ben Affleck was Batman.
He did.
Like, imagine some guy, I mean, he fucking hates Ben Affleck too. This guy woke up every day fucking going out, fucking Geely, I hate that movie. Then he opens up his fucking newspaper to find out Ben Affleck was Batman, and he takes to the internet and destroys it. That was me when I found out the New 52 happened. I'm still banned from sites because of it.
That was a lot of us.
Yes. I had to paint a picture for these
fucking
guys.
Daredevil all over again.
and so I was not a big fan of the New 52. The whole concept as a whole, you're going to renumber all the books, restart continuity. You called it a soft reboot. I guess it kind of was, but it was a reboot in my mind. It came out, it actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I like the New 52.
You cleaned up continuity. You made a new coherent universe that was continuity based. You made it easy for old readers to enjoy it, but also for new readers to jump in. And you gave the whole entire industry, and this benefited Marvel, Image, IDW, every publisher, Dark Horse. You gave the entire industry a shot in the fucking arm.
Right.
You got us on the front pages of newspapers, magazines, and media. Record fucking numbers.
They made record numbers on there.
For a while, for a year, Aquaman outsold every fucking Marvel book put out. Every fucking Marvel book. Now think about it. You would have went back and told your 90s version of yourself, Aquaman's going to outsell X-Men, Spider-Man, this, that, and the other. You would knock them the fuck out, right? But that's how successful the New 52 was. Then you come into Convergence, and I'm going to have to hit the bowl real quick before we get into this, because I feel kind of way about this. Hold on.
So I got feelings. I feel some type of way.
Right? You get the fucking Convergence. And part of my misgivings is pure fanboy, and I'll admit that now, because we really thought they were building up to a crisis. Dan DiDio kind of hinted they were building up to a crisis because it was the 30-year anniversary of that. Yeah. Instead, we just got Convergence. So I was disappointed, but that's just fanboy shit.
Right.
That can be overlooked. You get the Convergence, and you let a sci-fi channel TV writer take on this massive event. It's not even a good TV show either. We're not talking Battlestar fucking Galactica here.
Did he really go there on it?
Yeah. We're talking Continuum. Any Continuum fans out there? No.
Ask yourself, what the fuck is Continuum?
Exactly. They're Googling the fuck out of it right now. They don't know what the fuck Continuum is. What the fuck are they talking about? Time-space continuum? Like, no. an interesting idea for a book, but not for an event. I'm all for bringing in new blood, TV writers, movie writers, poets, whatever the fuck you want to do to bring in new blood. I think it's a good idea, but not for a massive event. Not for one when you're taking all your big writers out of the game. And that was another problem with Convergence, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
Was Convergence supposed to, was it advertised as another reboot?
It wasn't. It was. And that's where it gets confusing.
Right.
It was advertised as pretty much a filler event. It was advertised, we're moving from New York to California. All of our best writers and artists are going to be busy. This is just going to be some random shit to kind of fill the void. It was literally advertised at that. Right. But what it became was essentially the mother of all reboots that didn't reboot shit at all, but apparently it did. But no, it wasn't. It was advertised as just a filler event almost.
Because basically, the end of Convergence, all it did was stop the original crisis from happening, which means that the multiverse never collapsed. Which changes a lot of things if you think about it. If you want to go back and be fucking a real stickler about continuity details and shit, if the original crisis never happened, the infinite crisis never happened, and so on and so on,
right.
You just keep stemming out and stemming out, it creates all a mind fuck worth of problems to think about and shit. But I don't know really what else. Like, I was thinking about this after our discussion the other day. I don't know really what else I can point to this other than titles getting canceled. That Convergence actually changed, shit,
right?
You know what I mean?
Well, let's dissect Convergence first before we do the after effects of it. And first, the story itself not good. The main writer, the name's escaping me, so I don't want to drop the wrong one. But the other main writer you get on this,
was it?
No, that's the second writer. The other main writer you get on this is LaBelle, Scott LaBelle, and you already know my feelings on Scott LaBelle. Worst fucking writer DC has. And in the end of it, the tie-ins were good, and I'll get that out of the way. Some of the tie-ins were good, some wasn't. We were expecting that. Yeah, no surprise.
I actually think some of the tie-ins were better than the actual Convergence.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. But you get to the end, and I'll explain it briefly, and you're not going to make sense to anybody, but Booster Gold absorbed some Time Lord energy, and Parallax killed him, and the energy leaked into the planet, so the planet was going to hit the time stream like a bullet and destroy all time. So Brainiac had to send Flash and Supergirl back to undo the first crisis, right? Because he was going to fix the time stream, but the crisis got in the way. How does a crisis get in the way of changing history? Yeah, they don't explain that. So they send Barry and Supergirl to go back in time to prevent the crisis. How? By making sure the crisis happens like normal. They both have to go back in time and die. They bring that up. We're going to go back and change it by letting it all happen the exact same way it did before, and we're going to die.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense. So it changes it. You don't see him do it. You just say, hey, it changed. And now, Geek Master just said, Kal-El, Cassius, or whatever the fuck you want to call him. I don't know what you really go by on here.
Just ain't nothing changed. Still the same me.
Arose by any other name, I suppose. It doesn't explain how they did it, but they do it. It undoes all reboots that came before us: Crisis on Infinite Earths, Infinite Crisis, Final Crisis, 0 Hour, and Flashpoint. And goddamn, when you think about it, DC's had a lot. Thank you, sir. But what does that do to the regular timeline? I think it's one of the things we were getting to. What does it do to the continuity now? What does it do to the New 52?
Absolutely, it has done absolutely nothing in physical form to the continuity. Like, nothing's actually shifted other than now we have 15 different versions of Batman, 15 versions of fucking Superman, 15 Justice Leagues and Aquamans and shit running around. Like, they kind of changed it in that respect. But that's more of like the status quo we were talking about, like changing the overway the universe is running, like the actual continuity. Although I do see continuity shifts coming, as to me, obviously, like I've been saying, the Wonder Woman and Anti-Monitor look to be targets of some retconning coming up. I'm just doing foreshadowing. I could be completely talking out of my ass. Could be completely wrong. Put my foot in my mouth if I am and shit. But I don't really see any major effects of it continuity-wise, but I think the Convergence event itself has created a problem in the DC universe, as in with the loose continuity thing, and it's kind of killing the whole value of shit. But before I get into that, let's try to figure out what the actual value of the New 52 is. Like, is the New 52 actually good as it stands right now?
That's a loaded question.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
We can go like title, like let's say. Starting with Batman, you're familiar. We'll just run through the arcs and shit, and you can just give me your quick opinion on it, and you know if you liked it and how you sum it up at the end, like the Court of Owls. or the whole night, the whole Owls.
Well, we just go by characters. What the New 52 did for each character.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, cool.
The major character.
All right, let's go through the list. Go ahead, shoot.
All right, Batman. We'll start with the Court of Owls line.
All right, well, Batman, you fucked up his whole continuity for the New 52, and we got to get that out of the way first. You crammed 15 years of continuity in 7 years, and the cool thing with him was nothing changed. He came in from the pre-New 52 universe into the New 52 universe with almost all of his continuity intact.
Right.
They changed some shit as it went along, but you ass-crammed 15 years of fucking continuity in 6 to 7 years. 4 fucking Robins, one of them die, a 10-year-old son in a 7-year continuity, which he had within the 7-year continuity. You know my feelings on that shit. It doesn't fucking add up. So Batman, he did benefit from the reboot by not rebooting him, but his timeline makes absolutely no sense. And their explanation, as it's gonna be a running theme during this podcast, is we're told not to think about it. But I think about shit like that. Comic book fans like continuity, and I don't want to jump the shark here and go into the next point, but loose continuity doesn't work, and that is one thing Batman suffers from is loose continuity.
Right.
But I can't dictate or dissect rather each individual book. Some of them were good. You have your Death of the Families.
I just mean like the arc overall and shit. Was it disappointing?
Disappointing, absolutely.
Disappointing?
Yeah.
What about moving to, I mean, there's a bunch of filler episodes, filler issues in between these arcs that don't really bear mentioning or whatever. But just as far as the major arcs go, I think the next big one that comes after that is Death of Family.
Which was good. Yeah, which was good.
Enjoyed that?
I did enjoy that.
What were strong points of that for you?
He did a good job playing on the past of Joker. He went through the entire Joker history and Batman's history with them from beginning up until now.
And they did tie in a lot of stuff from his original appearance of Batman.
Yeah, absolutely. And they reenacted it. And I thought not only was that good for the story, but it was good for the model of the New 52, because New 52 is supposed to make old new again. So that story did everything. I thought it was like the perfect New 52 Batman story. Because you did it without rebooting it. You're retelling it, which I think was a good idea. I'm a big believer of retelling over rebooting. And I think that's what Death of the Family did. It got all the new fans current, old fans like the nostalgia, and then it went to some new places, especially the Joker, I Know Your Identity, which is something that's been theorized forever now. We've seen it in a lot of Grant Morrison's, where Joker's seeing Batman without his mask and didn't even flinch, like he always knew. And that was a new dynamic that I thought was really good. I'm a big fan of Death of the Family.
I like Death of the Family, and I think just going back real quick to the Court of Owls and the Night of Owls storyline, I think that I liked it at first, but then the more I go about it and I dig into it, like you bring up the points and shit, you've made me not like it as much as I did. And I think the artwork of Capullo really made, it's kind of, I think this is what I attribute my love to Superman Unchained to. Like there were some points in there that I really didn't like, but the art of Jim Lee just made it so fantastic and shit.
Don't care,
just don't give a fuck.
It's like watching a really good bad movie on mute. Like the special effects are really good, so I'll just put it on mute and just watch the prettiness.
Like the artwork is just so fantastic by Capullo and these. I just really enjoyed it. Like it's just, even if the story isn't really there, like it's just a visual masterpiece and it reads pretty good and shit. So, but Death of the Family was definitely good and shit. I think the next one after that was 0 Year. And
0 Year. Yeah.
I was kind of back and forth, and I liked the beginning of it a little bit, but as it got more and more into it, it kind of fell off for me and shit.
Spot on.
Yeah, but how did you feel about it?
0 Year, first 4 issues were absolutely great. One, we didn't need another Batman reboot, so I was against the concept. It was like the fucking 15th,
it was the reboot
15th reboot of Batman's origin going forward, that we've already had before. We just got off of Batman Begins, Gotham was coming out, Batman Arkham Origins. We've already had Year 1. We had Earth 1 just come out. Like, god damn it, I've seen the origin story so many times.
I didn't even think about all that.
Yeah, and then like, here we go again. Now the idea of it, his old origin doesn't fit with the New 52 model. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, if you really try to explain a lot of shit, I'm with it. But instead of making the continuity fit into the New 52 timeline like I wanted it to, my main issue with it, like this could be the way they fix it. I'm like, I was interested. They made it worse. They put it in that 6 to 7 year timeline.
He said they made it worse.
I would have said, instead of saying 6-7 years ago and giving them a definitive timeline, I would have said many years ago. In a perfect world,
just left it
over a decade
left
ago.
It ambiguous and
leave it ambiguous, yeah. Over a decade ago, many years ago, several years ago. Yeah. You said you time-stamped it so you could add your Green Lantern Corps, your Flash, and the tie-ins and shit for 0 Year. I didn't like that. But anyway, 0 Year, but still it was good. Capullo, once again. God, he's so fucking amazing. You did the Red Hood shit good, the Joker shit good. I really liked it. It was good. It was basically Year 1 with a modern feel, so it was nothing new or groundbreaking, but it was fun. But then it completely fell apart near the end.
See, I never read year one, so I didn't have that. I probably if I read that first and then read this, I think I would have more of a negative view of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't have as a negative opinion of it as you do, I think. I didn't really enjoy it. I feel like I kind of struggled through that part of the series as well, except for, like I said, the initial issues. It opened up pretty strong. It was pretty interesting and engaging. And then as it went on, it kind of just lost me. But I stuck with it because it's the Batman title, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Batman as a character in the whole in the New 52 is good, because I don't go solely by the Batman book, not the Snyder book. You also got to go by Batman and Robin Tomasi.
Right.
Because he really did carry on a lot of the old continuity into this and made it feel like the old shit again, like the timeline didn't matter. And Tomasi really strong. So I think Batman as a whole in the New 52, good.
So then after Zero Year, where we give Batman Eternal and then
Endgame.
And then Endgame.
Yeah.
And Endgame was pretty much, I mean, it had some fun moments. I like the Justice League thing in the beginning, kinda, and shit. And then the whole Joker, I remember being super pissed off at him. Like, oh, the Joker's immortal. He's been hanging around Gotham for fucking hundreds of centuries. And he's been responsible for all the crime and all this. And then, oh, no, we were just fucking with you.
Got him. Yeah. That whole series was got him.
Yeah, that series kind of fell to the wayside for me. And as the current Batman is going on, I look back and I'm like, Endgame really was pointless, other than just to put Jim Gordon in the Batsuit.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It was really just fucking pointless as fuck. But then that's pretty much, and that brings us to where we're at now. And you're enjoying the Jim in the Batman suit now, aren't you?
Yeah, I actually am.
So as a whole,
suit aside, not a fan of the chappy Robo Bunny suit at all. And which is weird. It's just one time I don't like something Capullo did, but I'm liking something that Snyder's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a weird flip of dynamic.
It really is, yeah. I'm I'm in the Twilight Zone all of a sudden. But
so as a whole, where would you put the Batman part of New 52? Would you put it in an overall disappointing state, mediocre, or pleased?
Good but flawed. It is one of the books that
flawed.
came out good but flawed. There's some issues with it where it didn't transition well into New 52 like the other ones did. Because some of the other books, they rebooted more than others. So Batman didn't experience the reboot, which is good, but the continuity you did bring over doesn't quite fit, and you don't do a good job explaining it, which I think is a hard thing. You're telling a story.
Right.
And I think fans care about that story, and they care how it makes sense. And when they say things like, ignore the timeline, it doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, it does. Common sense, dictates these stories. Yeah, we're talking about superheroes, and we're talking about grown-ass men that dresses fucking Bat Warriors and shit, but I still want common sense to make sense. 6 years ago, Batman fucks Talia, and now they have a 10-year-old. I want that shit explained. He's fallen in a fucking time portal. You accelerate his aging. Jesus came down.
He fell through a time portal.
I don't care at this fucking point. Doc Brown came out of a time machine and said, "Oh shit, great
Scott!" Some
Scott."
kind of Lazarus pit malfunction or something.
Sam Beckett from Quantum Leap
Right.
grabbed him and brought him through the time stream. I don't care.
Yeah,
anything would work.
That bugs the shit out of me too. You know how I am with the time and consistency, especially.
Yes.
I don't think time travel is not involved in that at all, but especially with time travel, I get pissed off at that shit.
Yes.
But then flipping it over to another character, one of my favorites, Superman.
Okay.
His arc started. His inception in the New 52 didn't really start off with the arc. It just came in with filler, and the writer started off as George Perez, which I'm not a fan of. Wasn't really familiar with much of his work before this, but he didn't really wow me or any of the issues he did coming in. Mm-hmm. And the first story you really get for Superman, I think, is the Hellspawn, whatever that fucking shit was. The dude with the fucking glowing fire
with
head.
The glowing head. Yeah,
they were trying to work him in as a big villain, and they fucking failed on that shit. He just was there for a couple issues, then he disappeared. He was prophesized, I don't want to say prophesized, is probably a bad word, but it was foreshadowed that he was going to be returning and being some big problem with Superman. He never came back.
Right.
Then we had the Hell on Earth arc, which crossed over with Superboy and Supergirl. Pretty much, I was disappointed with that, but there were some good moments to it. I liked kind of the concept they were going with it and shit, but it was kind of a cheesy time travel thing that was actually didn't get. They concluded it in that arc, but it actually got another part too with the Krypton returns later on and shit, which again a disappointing arc for me. Even though they had some good moments in it, but that's the arc where Superboy died but didn't die, and then you know you had that whole fucking Superboy was a time paradox fucking mess.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That book, man, I'll get to that later.
That might be a podcast.
Bro, oh my god, man!
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed some of Superboy and shit. Not to digress and shit, man, but when you start trying to if I was trying to actually explain to somebody who had not read the Superboy title everything that happened, I would think I might confuse myself and shit. You know, I wouldn't be able to explain it straight because I'd have to have it out in front of me and shit to actually literally explain it. It's that fucking convoluted and shit. But then you have the Cyborg arc that was fucking retarded with
Hector Hammond.
Hector Hammond and the Hive and all that shit, man. I was disappointed in that shit. And that's when Superman went through his first psionic attacks and he got the little blocks and shit put in. And then after that, they did more filler. I think at this point, Lobel was on and shit. He's was doing some writing for him, and then
he actually did Hell on Earth and Krypton Returns.
And Krypton Returns, yeah. And then he went away for a minute, and somebody else came on. I forget who came on, and they did more filler, and then
Johns came on
for Men of Tomorrow and shit, and that was again another. And he actually did an 8-issue run on that.
8 issues of boredom. Boredom. But
I thought it was on 4, but when I was doing research on it, shit, it was 8 issues. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
It seemed like it read faster than that, but that was kind of I liked the artwork was okay. The story just really never kind of developed for me, and it was kind of like, oh, Ulysses is this dude from another dimension. He's cool. Oh, sorry, he's about to try and destroy your dimension and his family, and it was. I just didn't get on board with it, and then now we're here with the truth thing, which I've been well on record of saying that is pretty lacking. You know, it's been going on now for about 3 months. We have no idea what the fuck is going on. Now we to circle back to the article that they put out about DC losing $2 million. They're like, man, we're gonna have to get Superman back in the suit quicker than we really wanted to because we were trying to have it drawn out and do all this other shit. Now we want to put they're already letting it be publicly known to expect Batman to be getting his suit back and taking on his mantle back, and expect Superman to be back in his suit faster than originally planned. And it's like, dude, for us readers, we don't even know why the fuck Superman lost his powers yet, dude. It's been 2-3 months almost.
Well, did you read this most recent issue?
No, I haven't got to it yet. Did they drop it finally?
Yeah,
finally.
We're good, yeah.
I'm gonna say, well, finally now we know and shit. I just haven't caught up to it, but
you're not gonna enjoy it. But
yeah, I know. I'd already fucking assumed that because of how they've been handling it up to this point. And you summed it up perfectly when we've had these discussions before. Is the execution for DC is just not there right now,
right?
And specifically right now because as we'll get into some of the other titles and shit, like for Justice League. The Jeff Johns of Justice League runs has been fucking spectacular up to, I mean, it's even still spectacular now. You know, it's kind of choppy up right now because there's so much going on and shit. But Johns has done a spectacular job and with the Justice League books and all that shit. And then,
well, if I could on Superman, I think one of the big things you're missing on that is Action Comics. And I think that's the redeeming quality. To me, Action Comics was more the main Superman book than Superman because you had the George Perez mess. The real main vehicle was Action Comics, and when that came out and debuted in New 52, it was a retelling of the Superman origin story. He was Superman for 6 months. He had the T-shirt and the pants and the indestructible cape, and you gave him a new origin story, and his origin story was Brainiac coming and all that shit. And Grant Morrison had a big 18-issue arc on that, and that was fucking fantastic.
That was Grant Morrison?
Yeah, that was all Grant Morrison.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm telling you. You got to get into this shit. You know what I mean?
See, my whole thing with the Action Comics was mainly the artwork, man. And some of the artwork was so erratic and styled differently.
It was a bit subpar, and mostly, yeah, but
and I just couldn't get into it.
Give me Grant Morrison written and stick figures for the animation, and I'm still good. I
was actually going to suggest, I think Grant Morrison should come back on Superman and write for the New 52. And he needs a good consistent writer because my overall opinion of New 52 Superman is kind of lacking, other than Superman Doomed, which is probably the best title that came out of the whole Superman run as an event.
On Action Comics, because for me, and you brought up a good point, Grant Morrison coming back for Superman because he needs that. The big thing with Superman, and with the main topic we're on now, like how do these characters fit into the New 52 and how did the New 52 benefit them? They really kind of came back and redid Superman, the concept of him. Before when we had Superman, his story, alien, came, grew up, powers, I'm a good guy now, I'm going to help people. So this Superman had more of a mission statement. He said, he grew up getting bullied, and his father got bullied, and this, that, and the other, and he was going to stand up for the little people. He says, I have all this power, I'm a god, but what I need to do for this is to give it to the people that don't have this power and are getting stepped on, the little people. I need to help the little guy, and that was his big thing. He was a Robin Hood almost. He went up against big corporations, and your Lex Luthors and your Morgan Edges and shit like that.
Was this was just like filler though?
No, it was his origin, not filler.
What was it? Was it a
First
name
issue
for the arc? This was the first introduction of
Superman.
action?
Period. Yeah, Action Comics #1. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is
Did
like
you stick with it the whole run?
Absolutely.
The whole like all the way through.
Post
Action
Grant
Comics?
Morrison, yeah, and it was still, this had more to do with continuity with Superman than the Superman books did. So I think if you want to get a good feel for the new 52 Superman, go Action Comics.
Yeah.
Get away from.
I've read chunks of Action Comics.
Superman was written by Scott LaBelle, so you know how I'm gonna feel with that. Fucking
Right.
Hell on Earth, Krypton Returns, a fucking Sci Wars, Scott LaBelle, and he's, sorry guys, he's horrible.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any huge Scott LaBelle advocates out there right now.
I tried to defend him, and while these issues were coming out, I was trying to defend him. I was a low-bill defender, like, man, give him a chance. I like where he's going with this. I was like that way around Hell on Earth, or Hell on Earth, however you say it. And then by the time we got the Krypton Returns and up into the 20s, I'm like, all right, I'm starting to see what you're saying.
Right. And the thing with LaBelle is he's not. It is one thing, once again, you're going to hear a lot. It's good idea of a bad execution. Hell on Earth and Krypton Returns on paper sound like fucking wonderful Superman stories. Like, they're one of a kind. They're epic. They should change things forever. They should be big, huge, epic events. And you get that Scott LaBelle dialogue in that writing. It is like 90 subpar fucking B-rate comic book stories. And then you don't get that kind of writer for Superman. You get heavy hitters on Superman. So they need their Morrison.
So you're saying the Grant Morrison run of Action Comics is the best part of Superman
in the new 52? Yes. Yes. With the I would say a close second, surprisingly, would be Tony Daniels on Superman Wonder Woman, and also what Tomasi's doing with that. Surprisingly, some of the best Superman you'll see is Superman Wonder Woman.
Superman Wonder Woman is awesome. What about the Superman Batman?
Started off a bit weird. They tried to go too
really
weird with that.
Really, with the Kyle Chaos Bringer shit with Darkseid and fucking the Earth 2 kind of crazy shit. Yeah, that was really crazy.
And unexpected. Like, I didn't think you'd be giving me this cracked out Tim Burton fucking version of Batman Superman for their first title on the book, especially when you know you were going to go that route with the movie. So you give us a very weird, gothic, fantasy-esque Batman Superman. Didn't sit well with me. It wasn't horrible. I actually like the art more than most.
It was like a four issue run or something like that. And then they got into that video game shit, which the artwork on that was cool. I think Mongol was one of the main antagonists.
Yes,
in that.
And Toy Man was in it.
Yeah, Heroes in there and shit. I like the artwork in that. That was pretty fucking phenomenal. And then you actually got a mini Batman versus Superman fight for a minute.
Yeah.
And then what was after that? They had a bunch of different fillers, and then somehow War World got involved with Mongol, and then did that crossover with Supergirl and then Batman and Red Hood, and everybody went onto that planet and they fought up there and shit like that. I forget the name of that art, and then
which wasn't a bad arc either. I kind of like that.
And then,
but it's a weird route to take to both the characters with in regards to fucking artwork and story. I don't get it.
That series kind of been kind of a roller coaster. It started off kind of fucked up, then it kind of got okay. Then it went down again, like fucked up, and then
never bad, but never good.
Yeah,
it was a bit weird.
What did you think about the Nemesis objective, the one they just did? Where I think it was kind of disappointing, because they tried to tease the Superman Joker. Yeah. So that kind of let me down on that.
Agreed.
But once again, the artwork was fucking phenomenal. I like what's his name, Greg Pak and Seif. If that's how you say his name right, I'm probably butchering it. I forget his first name.
Don't ask me.
I think they're a good team for that book and shit, but it's been very erratic.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? An erratic series and shit.
Absolutely.
The Wonder Woman run, especially the one by Brian Azzarello, probably butchered his name as well and shit.
No, you got it.
Pretty good run in my opinion. I need to get back. I fell off of it. I went.
How far did you get? Because it's one big fucking arc all the way to like almost 30. Like it's not like the other books.
I got to Wonder Woman fucking with Ares.
Okay, so that's like around, I want to say the teens then maybe.
Yeah, it was about. Well, I want to say like 9, 11, 12. It was either she was had just defeated Ares or was getting ready to fucking fight Ares and shit.
Okay.
So I got that far into it, and then I fucking there was too much reading going on. I just kind of was reading reviews and just kind of staying up to date with it, but I didn't actually read. But very enjoyable series from what I gathered from reviews and what I got from the beginning. That's actually one of the strongest points of the New 52 in my opinion and shit. And then, so you co-sign that?
I think Wonder Woman is one of the best.
One of the best, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. From the New 52, because you didn't redo her origin. She was still made from clay, but you found out that story was bullshit. You retell, don't reboot, which I like, and you find out she was the daughter of Zeus. Yeah, made her fucking badass.
They tied in. See that what makes that so fucking beautiful is that they tied in the pre-52 clay shit.
Exactly.
And then kind of redid it, modernized it. You know what I mean? With the demigod feel to it and shit. You know what I mean? That was fucking magnificent.
That's how you should have did the whole books. Retell, don't reboot. Yeah. You can even take it in different directions. But they honored the past and took it to new places in the future. They kept on doing it. You could have left it at that, but the book didn't let it stop there. Like, you also made her the God of War later on, too.
Yeah,
like, Wonder Woman went through some fucking changes.
Dope ass shit, too. And I really enjoy that shit, like you said.
Agreed.
What about The Flash?
That's the most interesting character out of the whole reboot, because he had the biggest history, and I think one of the most convoluted, almost, I would want to say, in pre-New 52. But and I think a lot of Wally West supporters out there are going to be mad at me for saying this, but I agree with what they did. They did. Get rid of Wally West, get rid of him being Flash, get rid of Impulse being Flash, and the convoluted fucking history he has, and kind of started all over again. Flash needed that. It really did. And look, it benefited the character, because now he's a huge character on the CW, and he's going to be huge in the movies. I think that was a good call.
I agree. I concur with that. And I kind of answered the question I was going to ask next, which is why do you think it is that his continuity, since he was the basis of the whole reboot with the Flashpoint, why do you think it is that his continuity didn't shift over like the Green Lantern and Batman did?
That is kind of interesting. I never thought about it that way. Yeah, he was the one that changed everything, but when he came back, everything was different. Yeah. Never really thought about it
including he was different and shit.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an interesting take on it.
That kind of fucked with me.
As the book itself, I don't know, man. It's kind of like the Batman Superman, kind of erratic and up and down for me. Like it started.
Oh, the actual Flash title.
Yeah, the title. Yeah. It's kind of like it started off kind of cheesy. I want to say with the they were breaking down. It kind of just started off fresh with the EMP thing and him learning the speed thought, and then kind of exploring the Speed Force and all this kind of different. Like we had a time travel paradox to open up that book with the whole EMP coming, but it only came because Barry did something with the Speed Force and sent the EMP back three days in the past, and you know how paradoxes and shit work, just loops forever. And I kind of I hate that kind of shit sometimes, but the Gorilla Grodd arc was pretty cool. I like that. The Reverse Flash arc they did was kind of
a bit messy. It got really messy really quick. I think the Flash title, one of the big things I like for me, the artwork was fucking beautiful. Yeah. It was a new way to take Flash and a new direction to take Flash. Yeah. Like you said, they had a lot of fun playing around with the character.
The art's pretty consistent on that title.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. They had some fun in the beginning with the character, with the speed thinking. I thought that was a nice touch. You're kind of taking... You brought the character back instead of having a 15-year, 20-year history. This is year 5 for Flash.
Downfall of that arc, though, I'm glad I remember this, is when they fucking did that genetic recombination
I was waiting
bullshit.
For it. I was getting there, yeah. Then you bring up a good point here. My biggest point or issue with that was they fucking teased the Rogues, and we were fucking excited. And we got the Rogues, and they genetically spiced their fucking weapons into their DNA. And I said no, because science, bitch. It's not a fucking thing. You can't fucking blend an ice gun into your fucking DNA. No.
He said our Rogues genetically spliced their weapons into their DNA.
No.
And that's why Johns got rid of that shit
ASAP. The first fucking thing he did in Forever Evil 2. Came up in here and said, nope. Back to normal, all you fuckers go.
Yeah, man. But
Jeff Johns don't play. And he couldn't wait to do that, I'm sure. I bet he
How did you feel about the arc with the Future Barry that just got done wrapping up with
I actually liked it. I think a lot of people kind of felt a certain kind of way about it because we can't have our heroes go bad and blah, blah, blah. They're so fucking sacred. But
I actually like when they do that kind of twisted
I love it. Yeah, I think they did a good job with Barry because it's hard to see him go bad. So I get people's outcry, but they explained it pretty good, and I liked it. It's an interesting dynamic for that character, since he's normally such a Boy Scout. He's more of a Boy Scout than Clark is.
Yeah, definitely. digressing a little bit to the Flash TV show, do you think it's possible that an Earth 2 version of Barry could be a villain, be the Zoom of this? Or is that kind of an outlandish theory?
The new guy? It could be, yeah.
Kind of an outlandish theory, but that's out there. Digression a little bit. But I kind of enjoyed it as well. I think one of the things I didn't enjoy the most about that was Wally's suit.
That's the one thing about Wally. I kind of like it. It's metallic. It's kind of neat. You have to go somewhere completely different with it.
It's like some futuristic space astronaut shit or something.
I was just a bit worried with them doing the whole race flip thing. Like he'd be coming out with some Nikes and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like a badass fucking jacket and shit.
Fucking clock around his neck and shit.
That had the lightning bolt in it and shit. Some whole Flavor Flav shit. Runs up and like, Kid Flash!
Yeah, I remember that shit. They haven't really done too much with that character yet, man.
Surprisingly, no. There's a lot of big hoopla when he came out.
Yeah, and they haven't really heard nothing about it. I wonder if that has to do with any of the backlash that maybe they felt like they were getting and shit for the race.
Well, they should have saw that coming from a fucking mile away.
Maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? But I also think that's a good thing for the show, since there's not a lot of source material to go on for the Wally West character. They can pretty much
got carte blanche, yeah.
They pretty much got a clean slate with it. You know what I mean? So they don't have to worry about comic readers hanging over their head like, that's not source material.
Agreed. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about that shit. So that's kind of a plus. I'm actually really looking forward to this season, man. Fucking getting real pumped up. But
I try not to because it's too far away from me right now. So when I start thinking about it, I'm like, God damn it, October, really? Like,
yeah, I'm already doing some videos and stuff for it, so I've been kind of getting real amped about it.
I bet. That weight's killer, though. That weight's killer.
So that's pretty much. I own the Green Lantern. I never really.
You're not there yet.
I haven't got to read the new 52 Green Lantern yet, but I hear there's just some good things. I've heard good things about it, and also I've heard some negative things about it, mostly being that there are too many books for it. Like you got the Sinestro, and then you got Green Lantern, Green Lantern Corps, some Guardian title or something.
Well,
there's like 6 or 7 Green Lantern titles or something right now, something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. That's like almost as many as Batman. Like, he's got a bunch of titles and shit too. Batgirl, fucking the Arkham Manor thing or whatever that's still going on. They just did Batman Genesis, Arkham Genesis or something. Are you going to read that?
Absolutely not, because it ties into Arkham Knight and Arkham, no.
He was quick on that, like, no.
That's going to be a podcast for the other day. I don't want to see any comments like, God damn it, Sensei, why didn't you like Arkham Knight? I'm not doing it right now, guys, so we'll talk about that some other time. But since I'm packing up Green, let's talk about Green Lantern real quick, since I did read it, and might be reconsidering the whole smoking weed during the podcast. So let me tell you that. Because I went into this with like the fullest of attitudes, like this is going to be amazing, and now I'm like, fucking Green Lantern? Yeah, I read that shit. I think I did. But no, Green Lantern is akin with Batman when it comes to it came in with all of its continuity intact.
Right.
And actually, it ended pre-New 52 story, War of the Green Lanterns, which you're almost near. It ended, and the next issue literally picked up in the New 52. So it was like a smooth transition, which was nice. And the actual main book will start with that Green Lantern. Jeff Johns got to finish this arc. It's one of the greatest arcs of all time. If you guys haven't read it, you need to do it. It's the Star Wars of comic books.
Jeff did a lot for the initial reboot.
He did a lot for the reboot and for Green Lantern, period. He rebooted the Green Lantern universe. Yeah. And this is the end of that tale. And by the time you get to the end of it, Green Lantern 20 is easily in the top 10 of my favorite comic book issues of all fucking time. The ending, he does things that very little writers get to do in comic books when it comes to characters. I don't want to give it away for you.
That's a bold statement.
But it's one that you're going to co-sign once you get there.
That carries some gravity, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope that kind of motivates you to get to that point. Like, goddamn, I got to see what this motherfucker's talking about. That's a pretty big fucking endorsement.
It is.
But I'll say it is an ending in Grant, my bad, Jeff. Sorry, hard on for Morrison. But Jeff Johns really just does some shit that doesn't get done anywhere else in comics, and it's such a powerful wrap up to this reboot of the character that he did, and he put Green Lantern back on the map, and it was just masterfully done. The other Green Lantern books, I don't think there was too many. It was just some of them wasn't that good. Having a Red Lantern book was a great idea, but it wasn't that good. The other one was Green Lantern Corps. That was always a backup book. Since you have a lot of human characters, I think it's cool to have a lot of Green Lantern books. That was John Stewart and who was the other one? Who was in that title? John Stewart and Guy Gardner, my bad. And Tomasi wrote that. I'm a huge Tomasi fan. It was a fantastic
Gardner
book.
had his own title?
What's that?
So Gardner had his own title?
Yeah.
Or during the Red Lantern run or whatever?
Yes. Well, am I fucking that up? No, Guy Gardner was in Green Lantern Corps initially. It was him and Stewart. It was written by Tomasi. Absolutely fantastic book. It tied in with actually Jeff Johns' title as well because Tomasi loves continuity.
Yeah.
And he will hark back to it every chance he gets, which I fucking love Tomasi for that. That was a really good book. And Red Lantern Corps, was the main character of that was Atrocitus. And I think that was one of the reasons why the book didn't do that good. Because on paper, Red Lantern sounds great. It sounds like a fucking awesome book. But if you think about the powers, you turn into a rage zombie almost. Yeah. So none of these characters have substance, content really, dialogue.
Yeah.
So it fell flat, yeah. And New Guardians, that's actually one I didn't read all the way through.
Yeah,
it had Kyle Rayner in it, and he was a White Lantern. I think he was trying to get all the power rings and mix them all together or some wacky shit. I know that one got the most mixed reviews out of all of them. No, I take that back. Red Lantern did, so it was like the third best book out of all of them. But Green Lantern, fantastic.
Overall,
absolutely
fantastic.
Fantastic.
So I can't wait to get to it, man. I'm almost there, so I can't wait. I'm really intrigued by what's going on now, and I just keep looking at it like, I want to read too. Like, I want to read.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. But, I mean, that's pretty much all of the main heroes and stuff. So, to kind of sum it up, I guess you could say that the New 52 isn't a disappointment at all. It's got its definite flaws.
Yes.
And needs to have some retooling. What do you think? I mean, just real quickly, what do you think there's some things that they could do? If you could manage DC for a day, what sweeping changes would you make to try and get shit back on the right track? Would you cancel some titles? Would you
well, what have I done or what would I do now? Because that's a loaded question. What
do now to try to get it back on track? I mean, there's $2 million loss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're kind of going back and forth with the ideas that they want to do now. You know, the whole loose continuity thing is kind of throwing everything off track. It's kind of getting them, kind of turning people away. You, a lifetime DC fanboy, considering, you know, switching sides and going to the Marvel route and shit. So
let's hit that real quick. Just real quick before we would fix DC. I think we recapped the New 52 and what was good with it, and now why are we mad at DC today? Because we're not that mad with the New 52. Right. It was good shit.
Right.
Why we're mad with DC right now is because of convergence and post-convergence. Convergence, bad story, whatever. But you know, they all don't have to be good. I wasn't the biggest fan of Flashpoint as being a reboot story, but I liked the New 52. It was a good story, but it wasn't a good reboot story in my opinion. But anyway.
It wasn't originally planned to be a reboot.
I don't think it was either.
Yeah,
I think
they just threw it in there like, we're going to reboot.
Hey, Jeff Johns, so you know that Flash event book you're doing? Well, that's going to fucking reboot everything now. Have fun with it. So, you know, But my issue is the DC business model after fucking Convergence. And they come out and they say the whole loose continuity thing. That instantly turned off comic book fans. Yeah. We don't want loose continuity. That's why we like comic books.
That might be good for the casual fan. Yeah, that might be good for a casual fan who just wants to dip in and out. With your hardcore fans, we get rewarded by continuity. You know what I mean? That's what keeps you coming back.
There's no such thing as a casual fan. Let's nip that in the ass now, DC.
Okay.
DC, that's the whole thing with the New 52, because they wanted to get that new comic book fan that's out there that just wants to jump in now and here's their chance, and that was their big model, and now they're trying to do it again. They don't exist. There's no such thing as a casual fucking comic book fan. Especially with DC, that they keep on trying to cater to a market that's not fucking there. They try to keep on making it so easy for anybody just to jump in. One, quit acting like it's that fucking hard. It's not. Like, you just got back into it, you know what I mean, just a couple years ago.
Right.
And now you know more than most people I talk to on a regular basis. It's not that fucking hard.
You catch up real quick.
But I get trying to simplify things, and that's fine. But you come out with loose continuity, and their whole big thing is we're not going to explain what it means. The Comic Book Con came, Comic Con went. He didn't explain what loose continuity is. And a couple weeks later, Newsarama comes out with this interview with him, and he finally, Dan DiDio, the president of DC, finally going to explain loose continuity. So what's it mean? Well, what it means is continuity is loose, but it's also continuity, and we have our tight core continuity. All books takes place on Earth Prime, but some of them won't.
A word salad of contradictions.
Yes, there is one core multiverse, but now there's also an infinite amount of infinite worlds. Not just more infinite Earths. Everyone's like, infinite Earths is back. No. Infinite multiverses are back.
You just made this dude sound so retarded.
And that's how he explained it. That is exactly how he fucking explained it. And that's why I got so mad. I'm like, You're not explaining shit. You sound like you fucking all of a sudden got Down syndrome before this interview began. Like,
do you want to tell us what loose continuity means now? Because that shit made absolutely no sense, brother.
But that is supposed to attract new readers that think comic books are too complicated. That convoluted fucking explanation.
We have one core universe, but a multiverse of core universes.
And now we have fucking 4 Justice League stories going on. There's a Batman in the suit. There's a Batman that's Jim Gordon. Superman has his powers. Superman doesn't have his powers. Don't worry about it, guys.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
They think comic book fans like that. He says they don't like tight continuity. They don't like events. They just want a bunch of random good stories. And then we'll kind of tie it together as it goes along.
Like, I don't even know what's real. Is the depowered Superman real? Or is the Dark Side War real?
Is Justice League of America, that you clearly said was going on a couple days after Superman Truth and he has his powers and his identity is not revealed, so it's not going in line with that book. Is that story real? Or is Justice League
where Jeff Johns real? Where's the core world at?
And now you're taking away from other good books. Justice League I'm not enjoying as much anymore because that used to be the main DC book.
Right.
This is the DC universe. Shit that happens in here is going to affect
I didn't even realize that until lately.
Now it just feels like it doesn't carry that weight and that gravitas anymore. Like, this is important.
It definitely doesn't. Even though Jeff is still on it, man. And like I said earlier, he's doing a magnificent job with that title. Like, I enjoyed Origins. You know, I enjoyed Throne of Atlantis. You know what I mean? Did not enjoy the animated flick, but you know, enjoy Throne of Atlantis. Trinity War was it was okay, but then that led into Forever Evil, which was max stupendous. There was some drawbacks on that too, but overall love that shit. Was not Amazovirus. I think I skipped something in there.
I think Amazovirus was a great story, but we were just so anticipating the Dark Side War. Yeah. By that time, we're just like, hurry up and get the shit over with.
I think that may have played too, but the Amazovirus counted it was alright. The Injustice League segue that they did before that with Luthor joining, I think that was actually brilliant.
Yes.
I want to see where that plays out and shit, man. I wonder how much longer that's going to keep playing out on the pages. And
I feel like there's something that doesn't feel as important as I think it should be. Lex is in the fucking Justice League. He's a good guy. That doesn't feel like a very important point anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that.
That's like, what if Joker joined the Batman family? Like, that should be something important.
There will be some definite tension on that roster.
But they're doing it all casual, like Lex is just kicking back with the good guys.
Especially in the Dark Side world, because I enjoy the first couple issues where Superman and Lex are kind of jawing at each other, and it's still the traditional interaction between them. But now in this third issue, you kind of see Superman warming up to him, and I think Lex is setting him up on some shit future down the line. I don't trust Lex. I'm of the Superman mind state where I don't trust nothing this motherfucker does.
Absolutely, yeah. He's always plotting.
If he's trying to be genuine about something, I take it as genuinely trying to motivate his own agenda in some way or some sort. So I think he's doing some way somehow. I think like he expected to have what's happening to him. That Superman fire pit thing he did.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was a dumbest move I've seen Lex make in a while. I don't know why he would put 2 and 2 together and think, hey, Apocalypse has solar fire pits. I'm gonna drop this motherfucker in there and charge him up real quick. Like, what kind of fucking ass backwards logic is that? You're supposed to be one of the smartest human beings on Earth and shit.
And you fucked my mind up. You fucked my mind up with the
power
how did Superman lose his powers
in 2 hours?
2 hours, yeah. So when he goes to sleep in a dark lit room, does he wake up depowered? Like, he was on Apocalypse for 2 hours, and all of a sudden he's losing all of his fucking powers.
Exactly, dude.
He can't hang out in basements.
Yeah.
He can't take the subway.
Yeah, exactly. But what does he do at night? He can't go fight crime at night now.
Right.
He can only go, all right, I gotta go get this in real quick. You know, my curfew's coming in. My powers run out about 10 o'clock. You know what I mean?
He can't take road trips with cars with tinted windows. Like, there's so many shit that he can't do.
But he stays out a little bit too late, just falls out the sky and has to take a cab home. Lying the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, like that's where that's more the loose continuity thing and shit coming in where we just embellish and do all this thing. And the Mobius chair, I kind of touched on this last time, is going to be a serious plot device in this.
Oh yeah.
They're going to use that to open up a lot of shit. That's what they're going to basically use to retcon shit. That's why I can't wait to see how, because Batman's about to turn up in this motherfucker. Bro.
So. This is something that you kind of alluded to in our inbox debate the other day. You think continuity changes are coming at the end of Dark Side War, yeah?
And during somewhere in there, yeah.
You think so?
And I think I should we should probably define what a continuity change is, because I think I'm kind of like looking at it differently than the typical fan will. You know, when I say continuity change, I mean it's going to change something fundamental about the timeline. You know what I mean, or the characters themselves and shit. Meaning, if they change something about Diana's fucking origin, that's a continuity change. And shit. If they change something about the Anti-Monitor, that's a continuity change and shit. Yeah. So as long as we're on the same board like that, I think that there's going to be some continuity changes coming. They're going to change something.
My big fear...
Or add something in and retcon. That's more like of a retcon where they just add something in like, oh, well, we told the origin the first time, but we didn't tell you this part of it and shit. We're just going to go back and fill this in, this part of it and shit. You know, like kind of like the adding the lightning bolt into Barry's origin type deal. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So, my big fear of a Dark Side War, maybe why I'm kind of, I wouldn't say not enjoying it because I am, is I'm kind of worried at the end it's going to be lackluster almost. Like nothing's going to change. It'll be the end of a good story, but it's not going to have any ripple effects.
Oh, okay. So you're scared that nothing's going to change.
Yeah, I'm scared. Because I just got done with Convergence where nothing happened. Right. I'm afraid of more nothing happening.
Oh, okay. I understand. Yeah. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. And you're like, everything's going to happen. And the shit you thought fucking happened, that's now fucking not happening. This shit happened, and shit's fucking happening everywhere. And I'm more worried I'm more worried like it's gonna end like Rocky fucking 3 and the Anti-Monitor and Darkseid is gonna hit each other at the same time. It's gonna stop there and be the end and go into the next fucking story. That's what I'm fucking worried about. Because I expect that from DC. Like I don't expect big fucking stories.
That is a good point. They need to. This does need to have world continuity changing effects.
And that's one of my big things with DC. And
it's the Anti-Monitor and Darkseid.
Yes.
Two of the biggest fucking villains in DC going to war. This should have continuity changing ramifications.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Period.
And my thing with the DCU is, I like the idea as a kind of a whole. They come out with a bunch of new titles and fun titles. That's a great idea. The Batgirl shit. But then you come in with Constantine, Midnighter was a big hit. You came out with a bunch of new books. I'm always for new books. That's a good idea. You can come out with new books without fucking loose continuity. And then telling us what we like. They say we're not going to do a lot of crossovers. We're not going to do events. Fans don't like events. Bullshit. I love events. DC, I think they've been doing it the best. Because where Marvel is oversaturated with events. They have events on events on events on events. I swear to fucking God, Marvel has 3 to 4 events a fucking year. DC has had 1 in the past 4, which was Forever Evil. So I like, if you pace it right, fans do like events. We want an event. We want that big fucking DC, all characters come together, big massive story. We do. We don't want it maybe told in fucking 90 different separate issues that I have to buy. But we like events.
Yeah, we do.
Don't tell us we don't like continuity when we
events.
do.
I think they need more events and they need more continuity, definitely.
Yeah, that's what fans want.
So that's
don't chase away the core fucking fans for these fucking flyby fucking new fans that you think you're going to attract, which you never do. And you lost most of the ones you did get with the New 52 initiative. The ones that stuck around was the old hardcore fans. People that are going to buy print anymore are going to be dedicated fans. Yeah. The digital initiative, which was one of the big things for the New 52 that was a big plus, that helped you out a lot. But I think the only people buying digital comics are hardcore fans again.
So circling back to what would you kind of do to kind of get...
How would I fix it?
You know, so...
I would, advertise. Tell me the last time you saw a DC comic commercial. How many fucking DC shows did we have on last year? 4. Name me one fucking commercial that said, hey, you like this shit? The real shit's in the comic book. This is the shit that this is based off of. Yeah. Give me a fucking DC. That would be a part of my contract clause. If I'm letting CW and NBC and Fox license out my shows, I'm going to say the one deal, I get a fucking commercial every goddamn episode. Yeah. Deal with it.
Yeah. I mean,
it could be 30 seconds. It could be 10 seconds, for God's sakes. I don't give a shit.
I'd also cut some titles. Because it seems like they're spread pretty thin on writers, and coming up with, you know.
Well, I can't tell you a book right now that's so horribly written. Anything outside of Scott LaBelle's fucking shit, like Red Hood and the Arsenal, is so fucking bad. But I don't think there's a lot of books out there right now that fans are saying boo this. So I'm always for throwing a lot at us. Maybe some will stick, maybe some will not. You'll never know what your fucking what book will randomly find an audience you wouldn't think would. I'm trying to think of an example. Gotham Academy. That was a big gamble that really fucking paid off.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah, I don't read it either, but it's a huge fucking book. I mean, yeah, it's a Batman book, but it's almost like Batman Saved by the Bell, and on paper that sounds fucking horrible, but I guess it's really good. Fans like it, and it's attracting some big numbers. And there's some other ones that's really off-brand books, Midnighter, which is a big one, a homosexual male lead. DC taking a chance on that and that being a big hit. You know, that's good for DC. So I actually like the fact that you're throwing a bunch of new books at us. See what sticks. Cut the ones that don't quickly. Maybe I can meet you halfway on that. If it doesn't work, cut it.
So,
but I would advertise stricter continuity. Fuck your loose continuity bullshit. If you really want to do it, and this is one thing with Convergence, and one to bring back the old continuity, so writers could use it if they wanted to. I think what they were trying to do is appease to the fans that got mad
about the new 52
and bring back the pre-New 52. But you're not really doing it because you're only really giving us the Superman book, and that's it. Like there's nothing. Where's all the new pre-New 52 shit at? I see it nowhere. But if you want to do that,
they solicited some stuff for that into the future. But.
Marvel did a really good shit with Secret Wars on how to do that. Tell them as what if stories. And DC had that with Elseworlds. Yeah. I would have said Convergence brought back a whole multiverse. It's called the Elseworlds. Your old shit's in there. We'll put out books. You know, if you want to buy it, like an alternate universe. Yeah,
that's kind of what I would have had no problem if they did.
I wouldn't buy it. I didn't buy Ultimate
this whole
shit,
everything is canon things kind of got me pissed off.
Yeah.
But
Marvel is showing it how it's done right now, and I think they can learn a lot.
So what's gonna make you jump ship?
Marvel has a better ship right now. They really do. They have
Are you really considering jumping ship?
I absolutely am. I've been buying DC.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
DC Sensei has been buying DC Comics since 1992, so for over 20 fucking years, and I am gonna go to Marvel. They are renumbering all their books.
How long did I got to turn it around? Can DC turn it around and keep you on board?
I don't know, because that's a good question. Can they? Because the new 52 was supposed to turn it around, and then he started turning it around again when it didn't need turned around in the first place. With Dan DiDio fucking steering it, I don't know.
Deep.
Right? I think that the new 52 started, it was great. And then you tried it, then you had the 0 month issues, where you told continuity you didn't need to tell what happened before it. People didn't really like that.
Answering questions I ain't even asked.
Yeah. And then you did the Convergence shit that nobody wanted and the outcome that nobody understands. And as it's going along, you're taking this new business model and you're making it so convoluted under the guise of making it not convoluted. I don't know if I want to be on that ship. We're hitting the fucking iceberg, bruh. Like, nah. I'm jumping on the Marvel jet ski. It may be all fucking Disney sugar and plums over here.
I see the iceberg right there, bro. Can y'all not see this shit?
Give me my fucking Mickey Mouse ears, bro. I'm good. MICKEY, motherfucking MOUSE, son. Peace, Warner Brothers.
Oh my God, you are something else, man.
But I think that they're doing it too. I think they're doing the new 52 better than DC did. We're renumbering all of our books, but the continuity is going to stay the same for the most part. There might be a couple shits here and there that's going to be different.
There's going to definitely be some fallout.
New status quo. New status quo. You know, you have a new Captain America. Miles Morales will be Spider-Man, but Peter Parker will mentor him, kind of like Batman Beyond type shit. But it's all the old shit still exists. That's what DC fans wanted with the new 52, and they could have did. They could have did a retelling, but keep all the old continuity. But look, you could change the looks of everybody, change their costumes like they did, make them look more modern.
Definitely gonna be on board with that. So I'm a fan of both, and I'm gonna continue to consume both and shit. See where this DC ship goes. Just real good chopping it up, seeing real thoughts on how we could probably, man, as fans, man, try to deal and sort through this fucking goddamn mess that we're dealing with.
Hot fucking mess.
But man, it was good having you on and shit, man. I appreciate you taking time out to sit down, fucking chop it up, spread some knowledge and shit. Got to do it again.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, go ahead and sign off. If you found any value in the podcast, please don't hesitate to drop a like on the video, share the videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully I'll get my man back on here and we can do this again. You guys enjoy the rest of your day and take it easy. I'm out, bitches. Peace.